Can Overage get student visa for Canada? Age limit to study in Canada. Things to remember. Are you feeling anxious about your age and how it might impact your ability to study in Canada? You're not alone. Many students worry that their age will work against them, but don't let that stop you from applying. International students often ask whether there is an age limit to studying in Canada. The answer is that there is no specific age limit, but there are a few factors to keep in mind. Here are 4 things to keep in mind that will help ease your mind. 1. Study gap. International students often face a number of hurdles when it comes to applying for a visa. One common issue is a study gap, or a period of time during which the student was not enrolled in any educational program. This can often be seen as a negative by visa officers, who may worry that the student is not truly committed to their studies. One way to avoid this issue is to take short courses as a mature student. By completing a few courses each year, the student can show that they are continuing their education even when they are not enrolled in a full-time program. This can go a long way towards demonstrating your commitment to your studies. 2. Specialized field. One option is to take a specialized program designed for international students. The specialized program shows that you are willing to invest in your education and that you are dedicated to succeeding in your chosen field. If you are considering going to school abroad, make sure to research the different programs available and choose one that will best fit your needs. By taking the time to do this, you will improve your chances of getting your visa and achieving your academic goals. Taking a specialized program is no guarantee that you will get a student visa, but it can give you a better chance of success. 3. Financial obligation. One of the reasons a student visa can be denied is if the applicant has financial obligations that would prevent them from attending school. For example, if the applicant is a mature student with a family or other responsibilities, they may not be able to show that they have the funds necessary to cover their expenses while attending school. In these cases, it is important to provide documentation that proves that the applicant will be able to meet their financial obligations and attend school on a regular basis. In order to avoid this obstacle, students should make sure to research the cost of their chosen school and demonstrate that they have the means to pay for their education. 4. Settle after graduation. International students who want to study in Canada have many options available to them. One of the most important decisions they will make is choosing the right province to study in. Each province has its own rules and regulations regarding international students, and some are more welcoming than others. For mature students, it is especially important to choose a province that is welcoming to older students. It is important to do your research and make sure you are applying to a province in which you are eligible. In addition, each province has different requirements for getting PR. Make sure you are familiar with the requirements of the province you are applying to so that you can be sure you are eligible. Finally, keep in mind that the process of getting PR can take years. Be patient and follow the process carefully to ensure that you have the best chance of success. 5. Feeling overwhelmed. If you're an international student looking to study in Canada, you may be feeling a bit overwhelmed. The process of applying as an international student can be complex and confusing, and it's easy to feel like you're in over your head. That's where a mentor can come in handy. A mentor is someone who has been through the process themselves and can offer guidance and advice. They can help you navigate the journey, identify potential roadblocks, and provide support and encouragement when things get tough. If you're not sure where to start or what to do next, finding a mentor can be a great first step on your journey to getting your student visa. How old must I be to apply for a student visa to Canada? In Canada, students may be as young as 18. There is no minimum age requirement, although minors will need study permission. However, legal retirement ages vary from one province to the next. You also need to be between the ages of 18 and 35 and a student in Canada or elsewhere. In 2022-23, What do you need to apply for a Canadian student visa? A cover letter and any supporting materials are required: medical certificate, payment of tuition fees, academic documents, proof of English proficiency test, proof of sufficient funds to finance your studies, valid passport, and acceptance letter from a university. Applying for a student visa and a temporary resident visa may be necessary. Does age affect Canada student visa? Just as there is no age limit to study in Canada, there is no time frame for when you can continue your studies. Many individuals decide to pursue a higher level of education later in life, meaning lots of potential students have a substantial study gap. Can a 40-year-old get student visa in Canada? Canada student visa. You still have options if you are ineligible for a Canada PR visa over 40. This study permit, known as Canada Study Visa, to PR pathway is one that many foreign students select to get permanent residence in Canada. Similarly, after 40 years, you can also study in Canada. The average first-year tuition at a Canadian university or college is $15,000. The requirement of minimum bank balance for a Canada student visa is $10,000 Canadian dollars. To cover everyday costs while waiting for a decision from Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, you will need about $10,000 Canadian dollars. If you want to study in Canada, you will need to prove that you have at least $25,000 Canadian dollars. This amount should cover your tuition and living expenses for the first year of school. Canadian visa officers may also want to see proof that you have enough money to pay for tuition and living expenses for the whole time you are in school. When choosing a place to live, there are many things to think about, such as the cost of living, the availability of scholarships and financial aid, and the job market. If you do your research and think about all these things, you can find a place and a program that fits your budget and meets the requirements for a student visa. If you're considering studying abroad, this information is crucial in helping you plan for all of the costs involved. You must account for every possible price under these circumstances. Make sure you start the process early so you have plenty of time to gather all the necessary documents. What does it mean to provide proof of funds, POF, or proof of sufficient funds, POF? Possessing either unencumbered funds or proof of adequate finances is a fundamental need for a Canadian student visa. Furthermore, as a foreign student, you must demonstrate that you have the funds to cover not just education but also operating costs, living expenses, in Canada for the length of your program. Your chosen educational institution will ask for evidence of financial stability all at once. In any case, proof of funds, POF, is proof that you have the financial resources to cover the expense of your education in Canada and can do so regardless of who demands it. Although students are often asked to provide advance fees as evidence of financial stability, several options exist for doing so. IRCC needs a consistent list of required paperwork. Financial paperwork for overseas students. To prove that you have minimum bank balance for Canada student visa or financial backing, you may undertake any of the following. If funds have been transferred to Canada, proof of a Canadian bank account in your name is required. Evidence from a financial institution proving that you have applied for and received an educational loan. A copy of your bank statements from the last 6 months. Proof of tuition and housing payments or a bank draft. Proof that your organization or sponsor is willing to provide the money by way of a letter. Likewise, if you are participating in a Canadian-funded academic curriculum or have a Canadian-based scholarship, you must provide proof of having received funds from inside Canada. After 30 years of age, will Canada approve a student visa? Yes, Canada allows individuals over 30 years of age to apply for a student visa. There is no age limit to apply for a student visa in Canada. However, The eligibility criteria for the visa may vary depending on the individual's circumstances and the requirements of the academic institution they plan to attend. It is recommended to consult with the Canadian Embassy or Consulate in your country for more information on the specific requirements and application process. Should an overage get admission in a certificate or diploma program? IRCC does not rate education programs. This is what IRCC looks at when you apply for a study permit. That you have no criminal record or immigration violations. That you have a letter of acceptance from a Canadian designated learning institute. That you have proof of funds for your first year's tuition plus 10,000 Canadian dollars living expenses. That your Canadian education will improve your employment opportunities in your home country. That the program of study you have enrolled in makes sense with any post-secondary education you already have. That you have family and community ties showing you will go home when your studies are complete. However, if an overage get admission in a PhD program, he will have more chances of visa. If he is an overage in between 50 plus, thus in such a case postdoc admission will be a better option. Contact us. If you are overage and feel any problem for documentation of your student visa for Canada, then do not hesitate to contact us by email. international2222180@gmail.com